2. Welcome to the iRacers Lounge. I'm your host, Mike Ellis. iRacers Lounge is a podcast for the iRacer where we talk all things iRacing in a casual setting. Joining me are the usual characters, Greg Hectus.
I don't think I'm a usual character anymore, am I?
Here you are. Brad Wren
Hey.
and David Hall.
I am back from the Southern Isles.
Is that like Ireland?
I
William
played,
Westbrook.
I played Frozen last week, the musical.
Oh. Okay. Hello, everybody.
You don't have a good follow-up for that one?
I got nothing. Nope.
On today's show, more Coke Series drama from Indy. Did you know iRacing has fantasy cars and tracks? Are $159 load cell pedals for real? A SimLab Direct Drive update, some big updates for the Sim Gaming Expo, a chance to earn the iTested badge, and who doesn't love iRacing emergency downtime?
That's right, Mike. And remember that you can follow along with us on your PC or your mobile device in real time as you listen to the show and see for yourself all the great topics and products we'll discuss by visiting iRacersLounge.com. Select the show notes. We hope to see you there.
Danger, Will Robinson. Change your password. So the first topic is an emergency downtime where there was a possible security breach that iRacing was looking into.
Well, I think they word it a certain way. I think there was one tweet out there from, I think, iRacing support, like a reply to one of their tweets that said, it looks like you may have to change your password after this, or something along those lines. And so the actual outage says a potential security issue had to be addressed, but your account data was not compromised.
I find it interesting because right when this came out, I was listening to a podcast that had just been released this week talking about AI and that somebody was already using AI to hack.
Quote, over the coming weeks, we'll be rolling out additional measures to harden our systems even further. As part of that, we'll invite you to reset your password at your convenience, and we'll ask everyone to do so at a later time. But there's nothing you need to do right now.
Well, you don't take the system offline unless there was something that happened.
Right. They had some kind of indicator that something happened, and it was so bad that, oh, we should take this down in case our data has been compromised, kind of thing, right?
Well, this is going to become even more prevalent, unfortunately. I mean, this happens every day. We just don't see it. Every business, all kinds of stuff is being attacked daily. Most of the public doesn't even see it.
Is it about hiring the right third-party security consultants to harden your network, kind of thing?
Well, there's always going to be an explanation. Every time somebody builds a better defense, then somebody builds a better offense, then somebody builds a better defense. It's going to be a nonstop continuation. You cannot be bulletproof.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it too, I mean, every member's got a payment method that's stored here. And I think that's probably the biggest thing outside that. I mean, I don't really care. Everybody gets my iRacing ID, but it's your payment methods and all that stuff is all stored. Because I mean, you got people that are paying monthly, and I don't do anything. All I do is go, oh, I want the track, click, and I get it.
I had that thought. Somebody had my iRacing password because I didn't reset it, and they tried to race under my name. Maybe they'd have better results than I do and actually get my rating up.
Wait, I thought I saw you in a practice session earlier.
That's it. He's been hacked.
We were kind of wondering last night if somebody else had been hacked, but who showed up at a race that hadn't been seen in forever. But yeah, they're either something. There was either smoke or they definitely detected something. But yeah, they seem to get on it pretty quick. I do appreciate that they were putting out tweets, kind of keeping things updated.
I hope they use those extra dollars that they get for our subscription fees to put into a better defense.
Bring out the pitchforks. Actually, they're going to be real pitchforks in a little bit. We'll start with this one. We almost need pitchforks for the protest system because it's a pile of dung. So why bother, Brad?
We got a forum post here. This is it's a couple weeks old, but I just haven't got it on the script yet. It's from writer Emerson. It says, "Why bother protesting anymore? For a while, I believed in the protest system, but it's reaching the point where I'm kind of getting what everyone else says about it being broken. I submitted a protest yesterday when some kid blatantly brake checked someone on a straightaway and then also tried to straight line someone else in the corner. A blind man could see it was intentional, yet iRacing says no malice." So we've got what do we got? 3 pages of replies on here. In a typical iRacing forum, there's the normal ones that come out and say, oh, well, you're not doing your protest properly, and you're not doing this, or blah 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 blah. It's the same cast of characters. I mean, look, I think we've said before, the protest system has its flaws, and I think it's becoming more and more flawed. It's just what looks to be blatant at times, I think really is blatant. And I don't know. Someone's never had an issue. I get it. First one, but there's some stuff that's just egregious, and I don't think it gets handled properly.
I brought it up before, but I'll bring it up again. I had a guy wreck me 3 times within a year on purpose, and he never got suspended for any of them. They said, the results, blah, 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 are kept confidential. I saw him on the racetrack the next day. And so that's absurd. That you can do that, but then the things they do suspend you for other than that, which are not anywhere near as egregious.
Is it a problem, David, with them linking those 3 incidents together? Like they're just reviewing one at a time. They don't see the context that you do. Oh, it's 3 times in 1 year.
I included the email copies of the emails from the previous results in the protest, saying showing that I've had a pattern of this guy intentionally wrecking me in the protest. So it's a shit show.
Well, look, where there's smoke, there's fire. David, you give us examples all the time of people intentionally wrecking, and you file a protest and nothing happens. There's this guy in the forums, Ryder Emerson, saying the same thing. We see the same thing on social media all the time. And it's never about, oh, man, I protested that guy and they shut him down for 2 weeks, It's never a good result. It's always, he intentionally wrecked me and then they said it was no malice, So is it a breakdown on who's watching not Nim, but Nim's team? Are they iRacers like us? Do they even race? Do they have any clue? I mean, that's what I'm asking is if it's so blatantly obvious that anyone would think it was blatant, then why are they saying no malice?
My guess is the bulk of protests they get are probably not intentional, and it probably should have been protests. It was probably a racing incident. I would bet that the bulk of them that they get are that way. It's I don't know. I firmly believe that I'm going to keep doing protests when I think they need to be done. I'm not ready just to say no, because at some point we have to try to self-police ourselves, and the best way that we have currently is to file a protest. That's the only thing I know to do.
All right, well, let's kick around some good news before we get to the real pitchfork moment. 2028 IndyCar test. Indianapolis Motor Speedway is listed. And so the 2028 IndyCar is set for the first on-track test in the next 2 weeks. So this is not game related. This is real life.
Have we?
Right. When are we going to get the car? That's what I want to know. It's an IR28 is the name of it. Dallara IR28.
Have we seen any spec sheets on what they're going to?
Nope, I haven't. It's the first I've heard of it with the actual model or car name, I guess you'd call it, Delara IR28. But look, with Indy being in a relationship with iRacing, we have the IndyCar game. You would think that they got to be ready for 2028 with this car. We're going to get a scan of it, I'm sure. But look, if it's already on track, can we get it early?
Well, my question is it just the Delara body being redone, and then they're just using the same power plants with them that they've had over that because they just
I haven't
introduced
heard anything about power.
because they just introduced the hybrid part to it. So you think they wouldn't change everything up another time again for Chevy and Honda, right?
What, the same hybrid stuff that F1's going to abandon?
Let's not get into F1. We don't have that kind of time.
Mike, they're already using the hybrid this year in the Indy.
Yeah, they've been using it, I believe.
That's why I don't think they'll. I think maybe it's just a body redesign that they're gonna fit the same motors in.
And I was actually pretty surprised that hybrid could be used at an oval, but it was because you would use that instead of lifting, you would just click the regen, and it would slow you down enough to make the corner. I don't know if it's appropriate to put a car out so early in testing because it's probably nowhere near its final design either.
Well, it's like if we would have gotten the Gen 7 car before they even put the models on it, right? If you just got the whole generic body that they were testing, you know.
All right, Mike, let's kick off the More Coke series Fallout. Let me start by saying I wanted to jump through the radio when I heard you last week trying to say this was on Brian Lusa, but he defended himself in a X post that
He did. He put up a video.
Clearly shows he was not in the wrong.
Look, I was passionate last week about it because I like this. I like iRacing. I like oval racing. I want it to work right. And what a farce that race was. And a lot of people did stuff wrong. Now that 7 days has come by, we've got people putting out their thoughts after the race, including Ryan Luza, who was actually leading the race when all this went down. So he barely had enough fuel. If he had gone at speed, he probably wouldn't have had enough fuel. He supposedly was maintaining the pace speed from the moment the yellow came out. Now, maintaining the pace speed versus catching the pace car are two different things. Now, David, you had a good point. The race was over. We were coming around to the checker. They're not going green again. Does he really have to catch the pace car? Well, based on what Ryan says in this video and the rule of iRacing, no, he doesn't. As long as he doesn't go slow enough, he can just roll around and in fact, he was going so slow, he actually wouldn't have caught the pace car by the time he got to the checkered flag. The checkered flag, the pace car was already past the line when he got to the line, and he wasn't even close to it yet. And so who should have won the race? I'm going to revise what I said last week. I'm going to say technically probably Ryan Luza, because all the other drivers who went by him, up on their screen, it was saying, stay behind the leader, stay behind the leader. Let the 34 by, or whatever it says, right? And so by them passing the person they're supposed to stay behind, they violated the rules and they screwed themselves out of a finish,
And
in my opinion.
they basically use nefarious tactics to try to force him out of fuel.
Well, it doesn't matter if that was a regular official race. Like if it happened this week in the Brickyard 400, everybody who passed the leader would be black flagged and would not win the race. Plain and simple. This is an iRacing problem. This is not Ryan Luza's fault. The ridiculousness of the pace car is the biggest issue. Now, I know that that was part of the patch this week. Surprisingly, we can fix the pace car after it makes iRacing look like a bunch of idiots.
They didn't fix the problem here, though. This is still happening.
Oh, I'm sure it is. Again, again, if it happened in a regular A Open or NIS this week, if the exact same thing happened and all the people that were being told to stay behind the leader passed him, they'd all get black flagged and he'd still be the winner. That's the problem.
I'll come to that. I'll come back to that. But in his replies, he notes that they changed the rules now after the fact to match the way they ruled it, because they're saying that he impeded the rest of the field, but it was not in the rules that said you had to go as fast as you can to catch up with the pace car. And now they've added it into the rules ex post facto. That comes out of the Constitution. You can't change the rules after the fact and make something that was legal illegal and punish somebody who did it when it was legal. The fact that they had to change the rules because they got it wrong shows how much of a farce the stewarding of this race was. It's a fucking farce.
So look, I really think the official results should be just as iRacing as they came. Whatever iRacing came up as the official results, that should be it. Whoever won the race out of that, that should be it. Because guess what? iRacing has a set of rules. Everyone did whatever they did. iRacing will put you in the right place. Now, did Parker White, was he the guy who should have won that race? I have no idea. I don't think so.
Well, I mean, look, the whole purpose of this when they run the Coke series is I think the attempt is to have it stewarded by the game itself. No, there's no lives. No one's throwing yellows. No one's doing any of that stuff. I mean, when there's a low spin off the track surface, there's no yellow. There's all that stuff. I mean, I think that's kind of the precedent that they have set through the years. And then again, we just decided this race that we're not going to follow any of that, and we're just going to do what we want to do. It's just like I said last week.
Sound familiar from any other sport?
No, again, that this is why no one's watching it. No one cares about it because it is a mess every single week. There's something that goes on every single week. 2 weeks ago, whatever it was, 3 weeks ago at Dover, we had all the controversy about people turning each other, no penalties, no nothing, just intentionally wrecking people, no issues. We get to Indy, they can't even complete a lap. Three restarts in a row when they're going to tear cars up. These are the best sim racers in the world.
Now, look, DJ EJ did a deep dive on this. Great video. If you want to know more about what happened, go find the DJ EJ video here in our script. But he basically breaks down that Connor Yorshak was the person who iRacing system initially awarded the victory to. So my opinion is Connor Yorshak won that race. Now, what the final official rulings by iRacing was this: Blake Reynolds credited with 17th place for illegally passing under caution. The race winner, official league stewards overruled the broken automated game results and declared Parker White the winner. Ryan Luza was ruled to have failed to maintain pace speed due to running completely out of fuel on the backstretch, dropping him to an official finish of 31st.
And Ryan Lewis showed in his video that he still had fuel pressure after he crossed the start finish line. He was not out of fuel. He was maintaining pace at 120 miles an hour until he came to a blocked track by all the other people who broke the rules and don't get punished for it.
What a disaster.
Well, it exposes the farce that is the stewarding system that we've already talked about. It also exposes the farce that is the race control system right now that really needs to be moved to the top of the priority list. Because we should not be having to race back to pit lane if the green comes out when we're in turn, or if the yellow comes out when we're in turn one. Because people iRacing gets confused. If you don't come to a complete stop, you get your spot back. So if you stay at 2 miles an hour, when you got spun out and never come to a complete stop, you're back, and the whole field is now racing to the caution, and you can't get back up to them. So the pace car needs to wait on the leader.
But look, what my biggest problem here with iRacing on this, the way they handled this after the fact, is they made Parker White the winner based on how their system should behave. Okay. So if their system behaved correctly, Ryan Luzo was not up to speed and everyone else ran around him. Yes, Parker White would have been the winner.
But he wasn't not up to speed. Period.
Well,
He was
but look, they say that, so that's why I say that. But look, follow
because
my reason here.
I
So
understand
Parker
you.
White was declared the winner based on how they think it should have finished. But my point is Connor Yorshak won that race based on the iRacing rules as they're written today. Based on he got a black flag, he didn't get a black flag, whatever. He scored number one, he's the winner. So iRacing completely mucked this up even worse by naming the wrong guy the winner, in my opinion.
Look, if the system is if race control is so screwed up that it cannot, it can't do, if it can't officiate the race correctly, then just let's go to live stewarding, put a live person in the pace car, someone drive it. Again, it's just, it looks like a bunch of idiots. That's the way it looks. Who wants to watch this and go, oh, okay, yeah, this looks like a good thing I'd like to do. No, again, it's a mess.
They very much look like a video game instead of a simulator. You know what I mean?
race control's broken, stewarding's broken. It's two separate issues that came together and was exposed like an open sore. Will, you're awful quiet.
Actually, I haven't watched. I meant to watch it last week after you guys talked about it. I actually haven't watched the ending of it, so I don't know who I agree with and who I don't, to be honest.
Well, we'll move on to the next one. Brad, you want to tell us about this car that went up Mount Washington?
This is Mike's, isn't it?
Yeah, Mikey, go ahead.
True. This should always be a Mike thing. We might as well call it Mountain Mike.
Well, look, we talked about this person last week, and I've been following them on the Instagram, and they put up a video of their Mount Washington hill climb, and he's trying like every car there is. And dude, he is putting up some times. I mean, this one here is a super formula in 4 minutes 20 seconds. But he did the fastest time in the Mercedes W12 F1 car with a 3:49. Super Formula was a 4:20. The Audi 90 GTO, which is my favorite car, which I believe my record is a 5:19 in time attack. He's a 4:59. He's some 20 seconds faster than me. Ford Mustang 5:13. He got in a Ford Mustang GT3. Late model stock of 5:27. The 87 stock car 5:35, and the Formula V downhill a 6:57. Anyway, I'm impressed. Very impressive. If you guys don't know what a good time is there, those are smoking times. Anyway,
And,
check him out. Yellow Vision.
and he ran the hill in a NASCAR Wheeling Tour modified in 5:09. So that's the Instagram post. Pretty wild.
All right, we got another video from DJ. He's very prolific. This one features 13 fantasy tracks that are in iRacing. So some of them are completely fictional tracks. Some of them are dedicated fantasy circuits that aren't you or they're real world layouts, but they aren't used in real life, basically. And then I guess some of them were just created prototype layouts that don't exist in real life. So tell us about some of them, Brad.
Yeah, so we got a combination of tracks, and we've also got some vehicles as well. So some of the tracks is looking at the rally cross conversions. So these are custom layouts that are built inside existing tracks. So like Daytona, Brands Hatch, Legacy. A lot of these again fictional to some degree. Fictional vehicle concepts, the Delara IR01. So again, this was created in 2020 as a high-powered Formula Car project when the real world laser scanning paused during COVID-19, and then they lost the IndyCar license. As far as fantasy circuits, centrifugal circuit, the iRacing Super Speedway, or Coca-Cola Speedway as it's known. And then some of your real world alternate layouts, like the Irwindale outer and inner, so it combines the outer oval and the figure eight. There's a Mid Ohio alt oval. It's kind of a kidney shaped layout. Uses turn two in the chicane. As everybody knows, the Monza oval. So you've got the old Monza oval that's hasn't been running a very long time. So, but yeah, just kind of neat. I mean, it's again, he's always looking for something. So I guess yes, you could say iRacing has some fantasy tracks.
Yeah, I love the jet car, Dallara IR01. Haven't raced that for a while, but I need to get back in that and try that beast. It's the most powerful car on the service, and so you should try it.
So he,
Monza Oval's cool too.
yeah, at the end he says a couple speedways have been overlaid with fictional dirt surfaces for the rookie dirt series, and he picks out Lanier. Lanier was actually a dirt track at first when it first opened. That's the speedway directly across from Road Atlanta. I mean, it hasn't been since the '80s, so obviously they wouldn't have laser scanned it, but it was dirt at one point.
All right, DJ EJ's been fact checked.
All right, we've got an Instagram post with which has got almost, you could call it a PDF format on a good way to learn the track quickly or efficiently is the best way to say it, actually. All right, he starts off step one: watch before you drive. So watch a YouTube video or a ghost car or a tutorial video, especially where they kind of talk you through the corners, is very helpful. Step two, start at 80%. I actually pretty well will do this, right? Especially when I just don't even know which corner is a left and right and don't have the sequence memorized yet, right? You just don't go through full speed when you don't even really know where the brake marks are, or even if you're coming up on a right-hander or a left-hander yet. So that's a good step. Step three is to start finding your reference points as you start to push it. Look for marks that you're going to use. Stuff like braking boards, curb colors, brake markers, marks on the tarmac, even guardrails, officials box. There's all kinds of different things that you can end up using, right? Then break it into sectors. This you can really do with what is it called? The instant save, or the practice method, where you can basically instantly spawn in the middle of a lap. I forgot what that's called.
Active reset.
Active reset. So you could break it into sectors with active reset. This is very handy. Or if you're just wanting to do it without active reset, just focus on only the first half of the track and just take it easy in the second half. Step 5, push, then check the replay, or even telemetry if you have access to telemetry. And then the last page, he basically just kind of recaps all that. So that's a good little short process for learning a track. He left out the part of turn the racing line on and then back off.
Ooh.
Yeah, no, pretty nice format. Still a lot of stuff that we just don't think about sometimes. I mean, I'm guilty. Get a new track and just go out there and try to learn the track, and have a track map will help to some degree. You get an idea of what's coming, but I think we all just want to get out and go fast, really quick. We'd be better off to kind of make it methodical, take your time, and learn it.
There's a mode in the new track map that comes in iRacing that's very handy. I think I've said this, but I'll hit it again. You can actually set the zoomed in mode where it's kind of almost like a GPS perspective, where it's always facing the direction you're going is always facing up. So you can see what corners are coming up relative to you, instead of having to to flip the map in your head when you have the whole track map. It's very handy.
Yep, I like it. This is pretty much exactly how I do it. The one thing I would add is if you're in a test drive, turn the damage off because having to reset or warm your tires again is really annoying. And then like David said, they didn't specifically say it on the Instagram post, but take advantage of active reset. It'll really help you. Learning tracks used to be one of my favorite things when I joined the service, and now I can't stand it. I just want to get over with whenever I go somewhere I haven't been before. But this makes it pretty simple.
I don't learn tracks as often as I used to. I remember going through the VRS tutorials all the time when I really started coming up the road ladder. And nowadays, not very often though. Learning San Diego was amazing, actually.
Yeah, another thing, if you subscribe to any setup shops on the roadside, normally your subscription will include some tutorial videos on how to do the lap. So take advantage of those too.
All right, Mike, we had a hot fix, patch 3. Mike is eating. So
Yeah,
he's hot fixing his stomach right now.
All right, so hot
Brad,
fix.
go ahead.
Yep. So, race control fixed a critical issue where caution states were transitioning incorrectly. This could cause the entire field to be required to pass the pace car on delayed restarts. So we saw this quite a few times the last few weeks. So user interface adjusted the level of the zoom, the track map. We added the latest Japanese spotter pack updates, and then the IR18 added additional final drive gearing set to specifically improve performance at super speedways. So that one was just a quick hit this week.
We have another Rev Zone coming up. Well, that's the title. We have another Sim Center opening up called the Rev Zone. This one's up in
Washington. And it's nice, guys. We got a video showing it off here. It looks fun. They got some couches in the middle and, lounge around, rigs set up along the wall. I don't see like food and beverage or bars or anything like that.
Think you
They
need
even have a podium.
I think you need the food and the beverage to be successful.
Anyway, if you're in the area, check it out.
I mentioned it before. You don't have to do just one thing. I could see a bowling alley installing like 4 sim rigs and bringing in some nice income from that. Like, that just gave me an idea. I'm going to go talk to the local bowling alley. All right. I haven't tried it yet, but the iTested series is finally coming. I think it's finally active now, isn't it?
It is. Yep.
Have you given it a shot?
I've not. I haven't had a chance to get in it with League the last 2 nights. But I do know some people that got in there and they said it works like it should, and it's really good. And I'm hopeful that this week of testing goes well and they don't hold it until the next season, because that will make me sad.
Or at least make it available for leagues.
Or host it in leagues. Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
So
Go ahead.
Well, I looked on the official, on the schedule for this, and it's rookie, but is it ranked?
Your safety rating counts. Your rating does not.
Okay, I was just curious because I didn't want to go in here and mess around with it if I was going to end up taking a big hit, because I'm sure there's going to be all kinds of people in here that don't normally do stuff either.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I saw somebody post about they're allowing rookies to run GT3.
Yeah.
How'd that work out for you?
I'm also not sure why we need a 30-minute race to test a start procedure. It seems like 15 minutes would be plenty, but whatever.
Especially when you don't have there's no restarts or anything. So
yeah.
Well, the only thing is you might not necessarily always have the GTPs catch back up to the back of the GT3s in 15 minutes. So you at least
how would that make a difference?
Yeah, we're not testing
because
that.
You're only testing the start.
Sort of, but you're also getting to see how it results when they catch up. So you kill two birds with one stone.
All right, but this week's I-tested series information is as follows. IMSA, GTP, LMP2, and GT3 classes at Watkins Glen International Boot, race length 30 minutes, race time every hour on the 30. And again, you can earn the I-tested badge to put in your badge, whatever that is.
Dusuoswa, the hardest English name I think ever to pronounce, has announced that Sim Global Expo 2027 is happening. This is going to be the first expo for the UK. So it's going to be sim, flight, and beyond, or racing sim, flight sim, and beyond. It's going to be in January of 2027 in Birmingham.
Yeah, so this is titled the Sim Global Expo.
What's the other one that's held over in Europe?
Them racing expo.
Sim Racing
So
Expo.
that's a racing one. Okay.
Yeah, same one, same group that did Charlotte.
But look, this is good. All tides raise all. What's this? What's the phrase? All boats raise atop by the. I can't say it.
A rising tide raises all boats.
Lifts all ships.
Right, that's what I'm trying to say. But look, this
Nailed
is good
it.
competition, right? For George, competition's good in this particular industry as far as expos. You know, where our companies can showcase their equipment to potential customers. You know, and all that stuff. It's great. I'm really glad to see it. The more the merrier.
You're gonna have to have one over there, anyways. You know, it's the best way to get all these products out to everybody. Like, with them always just having stuff over in Europe for all the years. Once they came to North America here, it was a lot nicer, and the bigger that we can get both events, the better too, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm all for it. The more the better. Because even there's exhibitors that won't be at both. There's some that are going to be at one and won't be at the other one.
Now the other thing too is, like, if they're if they're building booths, at least it's more profitable too. If you're gonna be for both, you got a booth made already that you can ship there, I guess, or to either one.
But look, we got Germany, we got UK, we got Chicago, we got Charlotte. You know, that seems like a pretty good mix. I like it. And they're all spread out throughout the year.
Well, speaking of Chicago, we've got the 2026 Sim Gaming Expo presented by Simcraft. It's coming up soon, September 18th through the 20th. I think the promo code is over, so you'll be paying full price for tickets, but they're not expensive anyway. And we've got a whole lot of information, starting with the time attack, which I believe goes active in about 4 days, right, Brad?
Yep, 27th.
So is anyone on our team going to try?
Yeah, there's no
I
harm
might.
in putting in a few laps. Doesn't time attack work where you never empty fuel out of the car? You just can keep running it and keep running it,
You can.
and
Yeah,
the tires
but
don't wear.
No, they
The-
wear.
tires do
Oh,
wear.
they do. Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah, because we did it last year. You took you about third or fourth lap. Before
Yeah, you had
finally-
about 4 laps before you.
Wear and heat.
Yeah, so we got a Instagram post here with giving you some more information on the road to qualify and what you need to do there. So again, as we said, round one will open up time attack July 27th to the 10th. Round two, August 23rd, the top 100 drivers will compete in online qualifying races across 5 splits. 45 drivers will advance. Semifinals and finals, they will be at the Expo 18th to 20th. So you're going to have a 2-day ticket at a minimum to the Sim Gaming Expo. Is going to be required to participate in round two. So the way this worked last year was if you qualified and you had to show proof that you're going to the show, not only a ticket, but if you're coming from out of state, you had to show that you had hotels and stuff. And then you could race in round two. So I completely agree with that. Would have been very frustrating to have people, racing the round and then never show up at the expo. So the goal is to make sure that those 45 drivers that will compete in round two are going to physically be there to compete at the expo.
Which, I think last year round 2 was so competitive, and you had to finish, I think, top 8 or something to make the cut in each split. Um, but man, the competition was stiff, and this year, being the second year, I think it's even gonna be harder to get into this thing, but hey, I'll put up a time and see if I can get into the second round. I doubt I'll make the top 45 though. There's no way.
If memory serves, I made it in the top 100 and didn't get anywhere close to the top 45.
Right, I think that's how several of us were. We got to the second round, but we were done then.
So I'm just glancing down the script, and I was excited last year, but I think it's like leaps and bounds the number of people that Jorge is getting signed up this year. Starting with Dan Suzuki.
And Suzuki, that'll be cool. He was there last year as well. Then Colo Light is a company. They'll be a sponsor, and they do near field speaker technology designed specifically for sim racing. Then Vero Motion, they were a big hit this last year, coming on the scene strong with some very nice motion products that a lot of people seem to gravitate to. So glad to see them coming back. Um, Free Aim VR shoes. These are like shoes you wear while you're playing VR, and they move around, and you move around in the game, I presume.
Yeah, they had it
Moza,
last year. They had a whole area right with the floor, but you had to sign up, and the wait times were pretty rough.
and this was the big one I was hoping for, guys. Moza Racing. Yay. They were not there last year, and so that was a huge glaring hole out of the big manufacturers that provide us this equipment. Moza needs to be there, and they are going to be there. So I'm very happy they're going to have a booth, 600 square foot booth for them. They're going to have all their full Moza racing lineup. So you get hands on and talk directly to the team. And boy, I'll be talking to them.
I was going to ask you, you could take your pedals there and throw them up on the counter, say they're broken.
No, what I want to do is sit down at their active pedal and turn on the effects like I run them, get in the car, get out of the car, and say, hey, why is that thing still moving?
Because
You need to make sure. Does it happen? Does it happen in any car, or does it happen in like team events?
Any car.
Yeah.
And then finally, this one was a very happy surprise for me. Dave Cam is coming over from the UK, one of my favorite streamers and video content creators on YouTube. But yeah, I chimed in on a comment and said, yeah, it's going to be fun to meet Dave, a brother from another mother.
Definitely a friend of the show.
He's been on once or twice, right? Yeah, he's been on the show before. So it'd be nice to meet Dave Cam in person. I know he listens. So yeah, Dave, I'm going to buy you a beer. So make sure to nail me down.
All right, we got some events coming up, starting with the Knoxville Nationals, August 4th through 9th. This one's actually a couple of weeks off. Monday. So let's see, from the 4th to the 9th, Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. each day through Saturday at 1 p.m. There will be, I guess that means you can just run every event, right? And then they'll have a super session taking the top 60 in points from the race week, if I'm reading that correctly. The time slots will be 11 a.m. Eastern. That's the first time I've seen them actually post the American times. And Saturday, 9 p.m. Eastern time. It's at Knoxville because it's the Knoxville Nationals. How about that? Dirt, D, oval, and the split sizes are 60. It looks like they run stacked consolidation races with E main, D main, C main, B main, and then the A main. Caution laps do not count in the A main. And we also have Road America 6 Hour coming up. That's this weekend. It's the IMSA cars. It's the usual start times. There is a BLP already out. You guys running, Brad?
Yeah, I'm not. Don't know where I'm going to be yet.
William?
Nope. I've done a 24-hour and a 12-hour over the last 2 weekends. I'm taking a break.
Yeah, we did the 12-hour last Saturday. So
How'd y'all? Oh, I guess we'll get to that in results. I missed it because I was at the Southern Isles. But yeah, me and Tom are going to run this one early Saturday morning. Hopefully, we'll get some good results. The sprint races have had some rain. I had one where it started raining in the last 3 laps, and we stayed on dries the whole time. It was interesting. Then we also have already been participating in the Brickyard 400 at Indianapolis.
And Justin Pearson, winner, chicken dinner, got it done last night. Congratulations, Justin.
Anything else this week, Brad?
well, the Grand Prix Tour is back. It's be week 13 of 24, and they will be at a Hungaroring. And DTM is back week 5 of 8. So they will be at Motorsport Arena Oschersleben. So that's Thursday and Friday race times. So, and the Vintage Grand Prix Tour is back. They'll be at the Red Bull Ring. So, find yourself something to race. Lots this week to do.
Podcast housekeeping, leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform to make it easier for more listeners to find the podcast. Do mention the podcast to your fellow drivers so they don't miss out. We would appreciate it. Check out our Discord and get involved in the discussion. And of course, our show notes at iRacersLounge.shop. We are in regular rotation at Performance Motorsports Network, and you can get your hats, t-shirts, mouse pads. Giant mouse pad is really cool, guys. I have one of those at iRacersLounge.shop.
So for the first time in forever, we had a race at North Wilkesboro.
A points race.
Yeah, I was just say a points race. So they ran the, I guess what the All-Star race 3 years prior to here. So, yeah, the Cup Series rolled into North Wilkesboro this past week, and taking the win was I'm Not a Professional with 256 points, followed by me 250. At one point, I was in first place, but that didn't pan out. Third was Silver Mustang 91. Fourth, Canadian, and then fifth was Cletus 45. So, yeah, I thought the race was great. I'm surprised of all the chatter on social media this week of do we need to go back? I'm not quite sure why is that the case. First points race in 30 years. It was an old school short track race. 6 guys finished on the lead lap. Most of that was caused by the Alex Bowman spin during the middle of pit cycles that trapped lots of guys a lap down. But I thought it was a great race. It was 450 laps. I was a little worried with the extra 50 laps, but shoot, they were done in 3 hours. North Wilkesboro, I think, was great. Multiple lanes, multiple options. Wasn't a follow the leader. Yeah, I just think you saw a good butt whipping by Joey Logano. He's been very good here. We lead 320 some laps or something. So, yeah, I thought it was a fantastic race, and we definitely need to be back here next year.
It's a different style race than what people are used to recently. I mean, it reminded me of the late 90s, the early 2000s, like you said, 5 or 6 on a lead lap. A- and so it kind of, I liked it because it brought me back to that time. And then the look of the track, I mean, it looks vintage, the way they have it set up. So I was happy with it. Again, like you said, with the social media, a lot of people like kind of put off by it. hey, we don't need this every year. You heard everything, and but I don't think I'm one of those. Um, any surprise on who ran well? I mean, I think I was surprised by Joey Logano. I mean, I didn't see him getting a win, because he hasn't run well.
Yeah, but he's figured out this place. He won year before last. So, I mean, he's just managed to figure this out. I mean, Penske's been good at the short tracks. So I think Blaney would have been up there if he hadn't had to start from the back. I think I went from the pole to, because they set it by the metric or whatever, had to change the steering box or something. So he went to the rear. Yeah, I mean, SVG finished, I think, fifth.
That was a big story. I
Yeah,
mean, him
I'm not
going to the
surprised.
lead.
Not surprised though. I mean, most of these, if you go back and you look at history, AJ Allmendinger runs really good at Bristol, Martinsville. If we think back to Marcus Ambrose, always ran good at Bristol, the short tracks and stuff like that. Any track where you've really got to modulate your braking and use the car and the brake to help turn the car, which road racers are very good at, they've always done really well. So I wasn't surprised. He ran the truck race. I think he finished third the truck race. Look, SVG is a very talented driver. He is outperforming that equipment by a mile right now. Who would have thought over halfway through the season that the most versatile and best driver at Trackhouse, getting the most out of the cars, would have been SVG versus Chastain? So yeah, just completely over exceeding the crap that they've been giving him.
Yeah, SVG is living up to potential. He's getting results. It shows. He's knocking on the door. It's not going to be long before he wins an oval. So kudos to SVG for sure. I mean, what else is in the news this week? I mean, Alex Bowman suddenly retiring, and after 2027 season, he's announced he's done. They already have named in the NASCAR media Connor Zilich as the heir apparent.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I'd be surprised.
Usually if Jordan Bianchi mentions it, he's pretty good on his
He's usually
sources.
right. Yeah.
All right, so then why have you been investing in Corey Day for years? What are you gonna do with Corey Day? Because the other three ain't going nowhere.
Right. Yeah. I mean, look, where's Trackhouse in all this? I mean,
Crap.
But they didn't not invest in Zilich though as well.
Oh, they did.
Okay, so
Yeah, I mean Justin.
which one are they going to consider the better option, Day or Zilich? I guess that's what it comes down to. I don't think they're going to fall
well,
victim to the sunk cost fallacy.
look, Rick Hendrick can't take Zilich without Trackhouse, being a part of the equation. There's probably going to be some money exchanged or something. All right, and then Indy. I mean, who do we like for Indy? We got flat corners. I mean, who's good at these flat corners?
Anybody in a Toyota.
There you go. Denny Hamlin, Tyler Reddick, Bubba Wallace will kind of pretend to run well and then have some other problem that's somebody else's fault.
You're not showing your bias there. Yeah, it's a downforce track. It's going to probably behave just like the mile and a half, and Toyota's just got the advantage right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think the one thing that's interesting for this weekend is the in-season bracket challenge. So you got Todd Gilliland going up against Ryan Blaney. Last 2 years, Todd has finished sixth at Indy, and I think last year Ryan Blaney finished seventh. So it'll be interesting. That's the true underdog there. We saw it last year with Ty Gibbs and Ty Dillon, but it'd be interesting to see if Todd Gilliland can take the win and get the $1 million.
Isn't it a really good example of why the playoff format was crap? Because anytime you narrow a victory down to just one race, you're going to get some crazy results.
Yes, I think that has proved itself out over the last few years. So, All right. Well, as we roll into Indy this weekend, looking at the overall standings, we got Canadian in first with 45.62. Second is Connor Truman. Third, Redneck Racer 80. Fourth, Cletus 45. And then fifth is Dollar Cents.
Anytime you're looking for hardware, go check out Chad McNeese's Ultimate Spreadsheet. It's free and open to the public, and anybody can look anything up just about on there. So go check it out. The first hardware topic we have is a Bavarian SimTech item, and it looks kind of like not a Stream Deck, but the other type of button box that's sort of like Stream Deck, except the buttons are fixed and it's got glow up LED lights, right?
That's
Yeah,
been-
so
Yeah, there you go.
Precision Sim Engineering makes one. They made the first one that looks very similar. It's not a square. I had that one for a while before I got my Stream Deck. It's very nice. If I didn't have the Stream Deck that was just so more versatile, I'd still have it. But for a button box, if you're looking for it, and you don't want to go the Stream Deck route, which I don't know why we wouldn't, but if you just want the physical buttons and the LEDs behind it, you probably can't go wrong with it. Being a Bavarian SimTech, it's probably going to be expensive. I haven't looked up the price, but if it's anything like the Precision Sim Engineering one I had, it's definitely high quality.
I don't think the Stream Deck would be great for me being in VR.
Very true.
This one, look, if you have the Bavarian SimTech wheel, wouldn't it be nice to have the matching, little button box to go with it? Look, I'd be all over it, and I really like the Bavarian SimTech wheel, um, and so I think it would be a good matchup.
All right, this is probably right up your alley, Mike. Why 32 inches?
Yeah, Jaxer does a video on the YouTube why I picked 32-inch triple screens for sim racing. He talks about all the different things you should consider. How much space do you have? Do you have enough clearance? Do you have the real estate? That kind of thing. It talks about the ergonomics of it, where with 27s, the monitor pretty much has to sit above your wheelbase. And with 32s, you can get it kind of behind the wheelbase, and you get a little more air between you and the screen. That's a little more less claustrophobic, so to speak. And so it gives you it just gives you breathing room, is the way I call it, as you go to a bigger screen. He also says that 1440p across the three 32-inch monitors is really an ideal balance between the visual crispness and the GPU workload. Even though 4K monitors are available, that can run to driver instability, heat management issues, and other problems. Look, I actually ran my monitors on 4K for a longest time, and I did switch them back to 1440p at some point because I wanted more frames. He talks about difference between curve and flat. Basically, he ended up with curves for the only reason was it was less expensive than a flat. He doesn't understand why, though. A curve is less than a flat, but um, the subtle curve improves the visual aesthetic of the rig, uh, making the triple screen setup look less harsh and more integrated as a piece of furniture. He's just saying it looks slicker, and if you have it in your room, kind of thing. Look, I'm a fan of flats. I don't think curve is the right way.
Well, I agree. Aesthetically wise, the curves look fantastic, but I think from a functional standpoint, I think a flat is better.
And he says 32 is ideal, and it probably is for most. Why did I go bigger than that? Because I wanted it to be like Podium One Racing. You look at any rig that Podium One Racing sells, they have these big triples. And I'm like, man, that's what I need. And I love it. I have no regrets with 48-inch triples.
And you live by yourself. You don't have anything to worry about. No wife, no nothing that's going to fuss at you because your sim
That's
rig
right.
is in the dining room.
It fills the dining room, like literally wall to wall.
All right, if you want some really cheap load cells because you're just getting started, or maybe this is a good backup set if your Moza pedal breaks or something. Uh, well, I guess you went Simpson though, didn't you? That's kind of how they worked for you. But we got a review of load cells. So tell us a little bit about this one, Brad.
Yeah, we got a review here from SimPit, Sean Cole. This is the Simrito pedals. So price $159 for the complete set. It's all metal sandwich plate construction featuring ball bearing pivot joints. Sensors or beam style load settles on all three pedals, 100 kilogram load. Cells for throttle on the clutch, 200 kilogram on the brake. So electronics and software is all included. 12-bit USB control system with custom software. So looking at on-track performance and feel. So the throttle features a long travel throw with a smooth, medium strength spring. Brake uses, again, like we said, a heavy duty 200 kilogram load cell with a combination of springs and elastomers. So allow you to set a dual stage resistance to kind of give you that progressive feel that you get. Clutch, features an adjustable cam mechanism. Trying to mimic any of these pedal sets, trying to mimic the bite point on a clutch is very difficult. I don't think any of them do a really, really good job. So looking at the adjustability and the hardware, spacing and stagger, you can move full left to right, front to back to make any of the adjustments you want. Adjust your pedal angles and your stops, brake resistance tuning. You got 3 sets of elastomers and then 4 spring options as well. So you can do a mix and match. So as in the typical SimPit fashion, pros and cons. Pros, exceptional price to performance ratio. Cons, it's flat stamped steel pedal faces. Slightly rough edges as well. So again, 200 kilogram load cell is a pro. There's no integrated cable management, so you got exposed wiring. Pros, ball bearing pivots, 0 side to side play. He does say that the mounting bolts protrude under the base. There is no heel stop included. So looking at the verdict, while they're minor cost cutting measures, and I would say these are pretty major cost cutting measures, in aesthetics, instruction materials and wiring design, the core performance, stiffness and load cell precision match sets costing 2 to 3 times as much. Again, if you're coming in on a budget, I get it. It's just you're getting still what you pay for. It's $159. This is not CNC cut aluminum, none of that stuff. It's stamped steel. So just understand that. I mean, you're getting, it's a low end product. Can it perform well? Yes, and I think they do. It's the function and the form, and it's other companies came up with a very good design, and other companies have figured out how to make it cheaper and cheaper by cutting corners on the manufacturing process, on the build quality, and all that. But yeah, I mean, it's entry level or backup. I think you're probably in a good spot.
Well, look, if you stack it up against Fanatec's cheapest pedal or Moza or Sim Magic's entry level pedals, I'd probably pick these over those. I mean, the feature set looks pretty good as you went through it, and it looks like it could be better than the plastic ones with just the spring and all that.
Yeah, absolutely. For an entry level, that's you're going to eat those alive. And again, I mean, it's like the Simpsons. Like yours worked well, and lots of people have them. I'm not knocking them. Just again, it's what you want.
All right, if I didn't already have the P1 and it's already doing everything I need to do, I would definitely get a P1X Ultimate. And the SimPit agrees. I watched this video, so I'll take a couple of things. He points out the same thing that we pointed out, that the benefits of an 80/20 rig it is the flexibility, customizability, that's hard to say, the utility of it, the ability to add stuff on easily. It's superb, and a lot of people, including us, did not like the Pro because it got away from that with the slanted uprights and a lot of other choices that they made that took away some of the advantages of profile. And SimLab heard and went back to this with the Ultimate, and so he pointed that out. he did pick out one pro, or one of the particular cons is that there's not a lot of particular space on the underside if you're trying to set up a motion rig. What else did he talk about, Mike?
Well, rigidity is the biggest thing when you're picking a rig, and when you pick a SimLab P1X Ultimate, there's no question you have the ultimate zero flex and rigidity. Look, that's the biggest key when you're picking a cockpit, to mount all your equipment to, because if there's play or give, or you're cranking on the wheel and I'm pushing back against the seat and I'm pushing against the pedal and flopping around like a fish, that thing better be rock solid. And so I'm happy with my choice. I have the original P1X. David had it first. David loved it. I bought it based on David's recommendation. I love it. And at the time, back when I bought it, this was the cockpit to get out of everyone out there. Now, since then, a lot of companies have come on the scene. Advanced Sim Racing has some beautiful stuff, that is, I'm sure, just as worthy. Track Racer, same thing.
Well, I think if you're looking for the one-time buy, then you need to go with a chassis that's going to be at a minimum, I think, 160 millimeter. You're not going to have any flex with that. So with 160 millimeter base, you're looking to have 120 millimeter uprights. It's not moving. It doesn't. I don't. Look, we look at these things every single week, and there's not a ton of difference between any of them anymore. So it's almost to the point like with the direct drive bases. It's where's your price point? What do you want? And go from there. Everybody's got good offerings. If you're looking to get something, I would definitely steer away from anything that's going to be under 120 millimeter, the 80 millimeter stuff. Again, it's the size of it. The 160 millimeter with 120 millimeter uprights, it's no movement. There's no flex to it. I could stand on the freaking the Track Racer TR 160 if I wanted to. I'm a big boy, and I wouldn't have any issues. Yeah, I'm glad they went back with the uprights. The slanted stuff has bothered me for forever. And does this one, I can't remember, does this have the outside channels on the base frame?
It
On
does.
the outside, but not the front or
Yeah.
the back.
Okay, yeah. As long as it's got on the outside, that's again my biggest thing is why I get it. It looks nice. It's all smooth. I get it, but I am all about function. And if I want to mount something somewhere, I want as many channels as I can.
Well, on the front side, there's not a beam across the front anyway. There is a beam across the back, but in the P1X design, the front's not connected. It's only braced by the pedal tray.
Yeah, and that's all you need. The Track Racer TR 160 is the same way.
So ultimately, we could almost call this show the "You Get What You Pay For" podcast. Really, this is, if there's one place you don't want to take a shortcut, it's when you get a rig. All right, unless you're buying like a super temporary rig or a super portable rig, maybe something for your 11-year-old who's starting racing and doing go-karts and stuff like that. Shout out to Bobby. I may have his kid's age wrong, but this is where you need to spend the money. And if you don't, you're going to cry more than once.
Yeah, it all starts with you. This is your house. This is the foundation. Everything that you do on your rig is going to be built off of that foundation. Spend the money, get a good foundation, and you'll never have to worry about it. You can do whatever you want to do if you've got a good foundation. Look, pedals are going to come and go, wheelbases are going to change, wheels, peripherals, all that stuff. But I could change out everything, but guess what's never going to change? That's the chassis. This chassis is going nowhere. I will use this chassis until I'm done. If I ever decide to put motion on, not a problem. Can be attached with no issues. So again, if you're going to, like David says, if you're getting into this, and if you're really thinking about doing a dedicated rig for sim racing, just take the time, do the research, go to Chad McNeese's spreadsheet. Everything you need is right there. Links, prices, everything. And take the time, do the research, spend your money wisely.
So one of the things that you can do when you go to a track, if you buy a ride along, is you can jump in the right seat and ride along with a driver in a real car. Well, now you can do the same thing in a sim rig. We have a
Well,
2-for-1.
a driven dynamic sim rig.
Yeah, well, yeah, and if you don't remember, uh, one of the guys who had the DIY motion rig set up in the corner last year at Chicago actually had this going on as well. I didn't do it because he didn't have iRacing, but he had the actual rig that they were on, and then he had another rig behind it mirroring everything that they were doing. So yeah, that's exactly what's happening here. Is it's two driven dynamics rigs, but only one guy's driving. The other one is just synced up to it. So you're essentially doing a motion sim rig ride along.
And they claim it's a 2 millisecond delay on their motion system, which is pretty incredible if and so and you can see it visually in this video. You see both rigs, moving over the bumps and taking the turn at the same moment. One isn't delayed over the other. They're identical. And I think it's just another way to show there's no latency in these systems that, what are these, $100,000 or something?
Yeah, they were still going to be limited by the software that's providing the telemetry. So because iRacing does have a little bit of latency in it, so they're something like iRacing. They're going to be the visual is going to be a little bit behind more than 2 milliseconds, but I don't know if they're 2 milliseconds means between those two rigs or between whatever custom software they're running.
Look, every software is going to have latency. There's no way around it. It's just what it is. It's just limiting it as much as possible.
All right, this next one brings me concern as I look across the room at my LG monitor.
You haven't seen this yet? I've experienced this, David. So a few days ago, maybe it was a week ago, sat down, turn on the rig like usual, turning on all my stuff. I get a little pop-up window in the bottom right inviting me to a McAfee trial. Like, what is this? I hit don't show again, and then it disappeared. Well, guess what? Every time I rebooted my computer every day, that window would pop up, even if I marked don't show again. And I didn't really realize what it was from. I kind of ignored it. I'm kind of, I'm busy. I'm going to race. I didn't know what it was or what it was from really. Well, we got a video from Gamers Nexus, and he does the full on breakdown of what's happening here. And it's unbelievable. But basically, Microsoft Windows 11, when it does its normal updates, which are required, sometimes they force them on you, right? You have to do them at some point. It went ahead and installed silently on any Windows 11 computer with an LG monitor attached, just via HDMI. Okay. But the Windows Device Manager can see that it's LG. And if it sees that, then it installed this app onto your Windows 11 computer without your permission called the LG App Updater or something like that. And so he talks about what it does. It's an automatic install. The user has no idea it's happened. There's no user consent, nothing. And then it starts doing these McAfee pop-ups for 30-day trials. Um, the Microsoft Store is listing it as installer grants LG access to all system resources, network connections, broad data tracking, including geolocation, device data, and credentials. And so this is obviously a huge concern. And so the fix is basically uninstall the LG display app. And so I did that. I went to my Windows settings. I looked up uninstall. I went down the list. Sure enough, there it is, LG. Unbelievable, Microsoft. Shame on
This
you.
this
Oh
sounds
my God.
this almost seems lawsuit worthy. Remember when they got in trouble over the Internet Explorer bullshit? This is along those lines of basically monopolize, taking advantage of their monopoly to force you to use software you don't want to use.
He goes, look, Gamers Nexus. He goes on a tear on these guys. He said there's wiretapping disclaimers. Recent WebOS updates added AI terms of service, which requires users to agree that it's their sole responsibility to notify household members and guests that their voices may be captured and processed so as to comply with applicable wiretapping and privacy laws. So LG is saying in their terms and conditions, we're going to record you and your guest and we're going to use it, and it's up to you, the user, to inform your guests and household people that they're being recorded so we don't break wiretapping laws. Now,
My LG is sorry, my LG is just a TV. It's not a smart TV. So, but yeah, this is
he was referring to the smart TVs there. But look, this happened on my 48-inch Ultra Gear monitors. I spent so much money on. I'm just shocked that Microsoft allows this clear malware. This is the clear definition of malware. And vote with your wallet is what he says. Do not buy LG. You're selling out your privacy, 100%.
All right, William, do you need a start button?
I do
This one?
not. Yes, we did. NCRD Sim Racing is a new website that I've never seen before. It looks like they're selling DVUs and touchscreen flag boxes, which I have not seen before. I've always seen the LED matrix ones. That might actually be interesting. Little 4-inch LCD screen. It's going to be about double the price of your normal LED matrix flag box, but it could be interesting. And then they go through with a bunch of browse and race logic lap timers and things like that. It's another little sim accessory site. Pricing on most of the other stuff seems in line with the different people we talk about all the time, like some Sport Gadget and all them. Don't know anybody that's used it. Don't know any reviews, but stuff looks decent.
So they got that race logic lap timer that Brad just got recently.
Yep.
$115. And then they have a 7.8 inch widescreen DDU with RPM lights. This is pretty much a clone of the one I have from SimSport Gadget or Asher Racing. It's maybe a little bit smaller, but a good price, $250. I mean, I paid $400 for mine.
All right,
I think I found this guy on Facebook. Yeah, so check him out. He's got some pretty cool stuff.
Sorry for the false start, but do you need a start button, Will?
I do not. But EP Lab Sim Racing has created a start button. I'm assuming it turns your rig on. The video wasn't really clear. Just shows them double-sided taping it to the bottom of the rig. Offers 2 finishes, a red and a black one. Yeah, not something I'm gonna buy.
It's a one button box basically.
Yeah, start button like an ignition. So on my button box, I have an ignition switch and I have a start button. That's all it does.
Yeah, I got a button on the steering deck.
Yeah. I actually have the start button on my button box set to enter and exit the car.
I was thinking that's the emergency stop for the wheelbase.
No, this is just a start button for like a car, for a race car.
Yeah, your e-stop is gonna come with your base.
And I almost cringe a little bit when he puts a little sticky thing on it and sticks something to his rig with it. Ugh, I don't want to do that.
I don't think I could justify using a whole USB slot just for that.
Those are valuable, huh?
Well, if you have multiple powered USB hubs like I do, got plenty of them. How many you need?
I've only got one hub. It's a 12 USB hub, but again, I don't know if I want to use it just for that.
So I had a 10 and I ended up having to get another 10 because I didn't buy a 20 like I should have.
Shame on you.
All right, Brad. SimMagic is promoting a new direct drive design that features a narrower column, meaning that it can be more agile, I guess.
Yeah, so we've got the SimMagic Evo Ultra. It's a new paradigm in force feedback. So it uses ultra low inertia technology for faster and sharper steering response. Um, so lightweight rotor, faster response, lower inertia, sharper control. So commanding torque, effortless agility, extended rotor design, and optimized coil fill rate, balanced strong torque with fast response. So yeah, they released I guess the Alpha Evo. I don't know what the Newton meters is on the Ultra, but yeah, not until we see some reviews am I gonna say really much about this. I mean, again, Magic response has been good on the whole Evo line. We'll see how much the Ultra ends up being.
Yeah, I'm curious how the math works out between going lighter on the motor versus how much power you might sacrifice. Because it makes sense that if you're moving less mass, it doesn't take as it doesn't it can move faster, but on the same token, if you push more power, you can also move that more mass at the same speed. So I'm curious if that actually really maths out or if it's really clever wordsmithing.
The only thing that comes to my mind is they're using the word ultra in the naming convention. So what are they going to call it next year when they have to put
Well,
out another one?
yeah. So this has been out. This is just another hit. This is the 28 Newton meter direct drive wheelbase. So this has been out for a while. This one that comes in right under 1,000. So dollars per Newton meter is very cheap. So I'm not sure why we need to do more social media stuff like you're releasing something new. So
Well, Mike, well, we're going to try to waste your money. Moses putting out a haptic motion actuator.
They are 4 posts, one for each corner. They show it off in a picture here. They say this goes live on July 28th. Tune
did you
in for
take
the official
did,
launch.
did you take the day off?
I haven't, but look, I'm looking forward to knowing what the price point is. Very curious what they think affordable is and who they are comparing their system against. Um, any guesses, people? 3,000, 3,500? I was thinking 1999
You're
might
drunk.
be one.
It's probably going to be in that $4,000 to $5,000 range. The question is going to be is when you get out of the car, does it still shake and vibrate?
Yeah, it probably will because it's the same software I use now for the pedals.
And then when you contact the support about it, are you actually going to be able to get any help?
Well, I'll talk about that a little bit. I mean, I did the Discord help. That's how you get help with Moza is in Discord. And I presented, hey, they're vibrating outside the car, they're moving, they're throbbing. If I turn off this certain effect, the engine vibration, it goes away. Oh, that's an iRacing problem. Contact iRacing to have them not give us data at when you're outside of the car. We're just presenting what we're given. But
I hope it's everything you want it to be, Mike. But I think you're going to be woefully disappointed.
look, to be honest, I won't consider it if it's more than $2,500. I probably won't touch it. But if it's 2,000, I might consider it.
Again, I think you're going to be disappointed.
Probably. And look, that's okay. I need to save my money. This is not something I really need. But yeah,
I would be very suspect if it comes in that cheap. I really would.
but if they come in at the price point you say, they're not living up to that expectation that they initially said, hey, these are going to be affordable. They're going to be the first affordable motion system. They said that when they initially announced it. And so I'm expecting the price based off of that. Look, if they come in at 3,500, 4,000, That's same as you get other stuff for.
All right, Will, we have a comparison between the XP1 or the P1000. Those are SimMagic versus SimLab.
Yeah, pedal sets. Yep. Just Dave GG did a comparison between the two pedal sets. Full disclosure, I have the P1000s. I have never tried the P1X or the XP1s. I've seen them at Micro Center. I've really actually wanted to try them, but never gotten a chance to. So he goes through and compares them. Similar pricing, similar build quality, all that good stuff. He does note, and this is a problem. Owning them, I will 100% say this. There is a if you use the elastomers on the P1000s, the load cell does drift. If you hold your leg at a constant force on the brake pedal, it will lessen in the software. You can mitigate that by switching to the spring kit, which you should do anyway. It's a $15 part from SimMagic. Gets rid of that. For me, he says it doesn't mitigate it completely. It 100% did on my set, and it feels much better. Anyway, his final verdict, he says, it's a lot of personal preference. He picked the XP1s from SimLab due to the load cell drift we talked about, and the feel of the brake pedal as a two-stage brake pedal feel. I've never tried them. I don't know what it feels like. I assume it's good. And then he says, if you like a really stiff brake pedal like I do, go with the P1000s. If you like a softer brake pedal with the two-stage feel, go with the SimLab XP1s. I could not recommend my SimLabs more. My SimMagics more. And unless I eventually go with the active pedal from SimiCube, I really don't see myself changing from these anytime soon.
So we used these at the Sim Gaming Expo last year. This was SimLab had on all theirs. They felt fine. I was really curious to try them, but I do agree that it's a much softer pedal, so it's got a little bit longer throw. So it's harder of a pedal as you get on the P1000s. But again, just like I tell our listeners always, if you go to any of these expos, you need to take everything you try with a grain of salt because it is not dialed in. Everything is set up to make it easy for anybody to get in there and use it. So that was one of the biggest complaints that that I have is when you jump on a rig and you expect to have a nice hard brake pedal, it ain't so. But no, I think they're good. But I will say with the coming in at the similar price point, you are going to get all three pedals. With the SimMagic versus just the two pedals with the SimLabs.
Yeah, the one thing I don't like about my SimMagic pedals is the base plate is not very adjustable. I'm pretty sure I could take them off and not use the base plate with some minor modifications I've read about, but just never really felt the need. But it is, if you leave it as is, as it comes, it's much less adjustable than some of the other pedal sets out there.
All right, we have an update from SimLab on their direct drive system. They're calling it Torg Sync.
Torque. Sorry.
So what?
Torque.
Oh, it actually is supposed to be Torque Sync? Okay.
Yeah, remember I was scrambling to get all this done tonight.
All right, so essentially they are saying no teasers this time. Here's exactly where we stand. They want to make sure that every DDS ships fully validated or it doesn't ship. So hundreds of hours have been spent at sustained max torque, and every subsystem has been tested and signed off. That took time. It was worth it. So they are now in production. Components are being produced worldwide, with final assembly taking place in Italy. And pre-orders are coming soon. The announcement with the exact date is nearly ready. The lineup, they've got a 22 Newton meter true holding torque
26.
running 26. Sorry. 26 at 14.99 euros and dollars as well. And then the 39 Newton meter is 19.99.
Man,
Rip your arms off. Rip your arms off.
those are SimiCube prices.
Oh, they said didn't he say they're trying to not take down? That's not the right word, but that's who they're going after, right?
That's exactly what he said.
Okay, well, yeah. So if they think it's that good, then More power to him. At least we finally get a pre-order date, though, right? We've been waiting on this a long time.
Yeah. So when we talked last year at the expo in September, it was hopefully Q1 of this year. So I'm excited, looking forward to trying these. The prototypes were on the rigs last September, and I thought they felt very good. Again, this is going to have USB 3.0 full data pass through and have a dedicated 5-volt power line as well. So integrated PSU, so no external power brick. I do like that. That's nice when it comes to keeping
That
your
is
rig.
really nice.
Yeah, when it comes to keeping your rig looking nice and clean, not to have that big old fat power brick somewhere. I like that. So and telemetry available from day one. So they are offering a Founders Edition. So the first batch is going to ship with the Zero Play Quick Release version 2. You get a collector's booklet and Founders engraving with your individual serial number on it. So yeah, this is what I wanted last year, but I couldn't wait. So
Well, look, you'd still be waiting.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
So you made a great choice.
I did. I do love the quick release on this. I really do. I think this is one of the best designs from what we've seen. And I do like that it's got, 3.0 USB data pass through as well with a dedicated 5-volt power line, which should allow most of your your screen, your wheels that have screens and stuff, that should be enough power to power them and not have to use an external power source as well.
Results. Let's talk results. NIS North Wilkesboro Friday Open. My oval results continue to spiral out of control. Wrecked out real early. Someone checked up in front of me. I checked up. The car turned left. I hit the inside wall real hard. 7 minutes damage. I didn't have the heart to finish it. I haven't finished better than 21st since San Diego. Ouch. Moving on to Sunday Open. NIS North Wilkesboro, Tony Rochette, P5. Honestly debated to even run this week from hearing the horror stories of the 20 plus cautions. And totally glad I only ran one. This race had 28 cautions. That's brutal. Seriously, learn how to drive a short track. It's not that hard. Stayed in the P5 all race, was battling for third when third doored me. With 5 to go and spun me out. Restarted 7th on the last green-white checker and squeaked out a P5. Tom Dreiling, P17. Kyle Pendergraph, P6, started P11. The race was crazy, moved up to second quickly, but due to iRacing, the lack of officiating after pitting, I got black flagged because cars weren't in the correct spot when the green came out. Got trapped a lap down, running 16th for what would be our long run of 53 laps. Finally got my lap back and marched to the front. Second to last restart, I fire off with the leader and we run 2 laps side by side until he decides to, in turn 1, to overdrive it and wrecks me. I give him that little tap on the back bumper showing him I'm not a fan of his driving. He proceeds on the restart to hang a right, hitting me again while also taking himself out. Rule of wrecking someone on purpose is don't wreck yourself. Served my penalty on the last restart and finished P6. Indianapolis Brickyard 400 special event. I ran Wednesday, DNF. Had a good car the first run. I moved up really fast to P2. Right before halfway, I got involved in an incident when I was trying to pass on the inside. I wasn't quite clear and came across the nose of the guy and put myself in the wall. From there, I got super tight. It was fading. I hit the wall again for wheel damage and decided to park it. I didn't have the heart to run it around damaged for 3.5 hours. Justin. Hi, my name is Justin and I won a race, but I didn't take the time to put in my results. He not only won a race, he won a special event race. Well done, Justin. Tony
I
Rochette.
wondered if you'd actually read that.
I'll read whatever they write in there. P23.
He didn't write that.
Oh, you did, I bet, huh? 3/4 through the race on a restart, I got arrow loose and put it in the wall, ended up 3 laps down. Kyle Pendergraft, P4, roller coaster of a race and dodged wrecks all race long. Got caught up in a few wrecks, but was able to get the damage fixed and stay on the lead lap. Setup was extremely fast. Had a winning car, but just not the confidence in my car to push it to the limit. Solid P4 at my home track. Chris Waldron, P4, second split. We had 15 cautions, but I missed all the wrecks and was able to manage tires and my car well. Had a restart with 8 to go and couldn't catch the leaders. The premier sets are flying this week. I'll take a P4. David, P8.
Yeah, this was a frustrating race, but I stole the result. I was fast and just snuck up through pit strategy and survival. I ran Thursday as well. I'll go ahead and talk about it since that's next up. Or yeah, nobody, there's nobody else listed. So I also ran Thursday and came in P6. Same thing. I struggled in the pack when there were large packs and short runs. I was just hard to get up through the field, hard to pass on the inside. But on the long runs, I could make progress, and also really worked the strategy, including the fact, like was talked about in the Coke race. There was a couple of times when I took advantage of the fact that I wouldn't have to take as much fuel to gain track position, and I did that some in the middle of the race to gain some spots. But with strategy and surviving a few collisions that I was able to fix the damage, I made it through some last lap carnage and came in P6. I also figured out a kind of an alternate option to shifting that I'll give details to the team. I'm not going to give all our secrets away, but when I was struggling when I learned we were supposed to be shifting because I had a really good A open race without shifting. Then when I was trying to shift in the first NIS, it was not good, and I figured something out in Thursday's race that made it a lot easier to drive.
All right, you need to let me know about that. Tony Rochette, this is heartbreak. P2 had a great set from Premier this week. Usually shenanigans and kept it clean. Pitted with 20 to go while top six stayed out, restarted seventh, made my way to second with 5 to go, and got within 0.7 of the leader when the white came out. Did push him to slap the wall a few times, but also slapped it trying to get him. Man, I know it's a second, but I haven't won NIS in over 4 years. Good run though, Tony. Moving on to A Open, Tony had a P2, was good on a Monday night A Open. B Open, Kyle got a P17, started P7, made it to P5. Car in front of me on the lap 5 overdrove one and bounced off the outside wall and collected me. Car wasn't bad until someone 5 seconds later decided to race through the wreck and slam my ass in. Got the damage fixed, and shortly later I got the lucky dog. And when coming through to past the pace car, a car decides to slam into me and give me 4 more minutes of damage. Just rode around and collected a P17. So Ringmeister has turned into Take Mike's Money, and they keep booking cars that I don't own. So they had the GT1 this week, which I do not own, and I'm not going to buy it. So what did I do? I ran F4 fixed at Spa. Started sixth, got to third, but then spun and got taken out, DNF. And then F4 at Mount Panorama. Started 12th out of 15. Big blockage going down the hill. There's no way I could miss it. There's nowhere to go. I just plowed in. And then next was at Spa again, qualified 5th out of 22. Then got to third pretty quick, held it for a while, but had a self spin, recovered quickly back to 6th. But I ended up getting back up to take P3. Yay, we'll take the podium in the F4. Next race started 3rd out of 22, finished P2, but had nothing for the leader. Then we switched F4 to Watkins Glen, started 18th out of 25, quickly got up to 8th, and eventually finished the race with a P5, a great event. What a great car the F4 is. That's always something that's fun to race. That's not too much horsepower, but enough for I can handle. So IMSA, William, P12.
Yep, I finally did an official. Was in this race with Weaver. He qualified on pole. I qualified P3. He got taken out turn 1 lap 1 by P2, and then I fell to 4th, avoiding that wreck. Got back to second with some awesome on-track overtakes. Caught back to P1, but couldn't make a move with all the traffic. 4 laps to go. GTP just ran through me going into the carousel. Probably didn't move out as much as I should have, taking the line going into the carousel. But he still had plenty of room inside. And instead, he just decided to run through my car. Hit me off, gave me wheel damage, meatball. Went to the pits and fell at 12th.
I thought it was always the GT3's fault.
I mean, I could have gone farther out, but he had room, man. He had plenty of room.
All right, league and hosted events, grassroots racing, Road America Sprint P4.
Yep, I love Road America. I'm fast at Road America, and I screwed up the start. I thought that it didn't change setups, but looking back at it, I think I just loaded the qualifying set again by accident. I realized with 30 seconds to go on the grid, went back to the pits, tried to swap the setup, but I couldn't get back to the grid in time. So started from the pit lane, 26th. Got aided by a couple wrecks to get up through the field a little bit, but I can only get back up to 4th by the end of the race. It's actually the first time I actually struggled with one of the go setups as well. I just could not get the understeer out of it going into turn 1, and then the turn after Corvette, and then Canada. It just oversteer, I'm sure, or understeer, I mean.
It was like that all day Saturday too.
Yeah, I ran a Hymo set for my next league we'll talk about, and it felt a lot better. I'm sure some of it's just me overdriving the car, but it was rough.
And then Elbows Out Racing League P3.
Yep. Qualified P2. Fell to P3 with the pit cycle. I didn't have anything for P1. Gage, he's just an alien, man. He's so fast. But P2 and P5 rode nose to tail. It was a 60-minute race. We started pit stops around 35 minutes, and we were still within, a second and a half each other. So the pace in the top 7, I've said it before, but it's just insane. I don't think anybody in the top 5 made a single mistake until after pits or until the very end. Focus required just on my driving left me exhausted, not physically, just mentally by the end of the race. I really like this league. I've had some great driving here, made some good friends, but I know I complain about the traffic sometimes. The LMP2 traffic and Blue Flag GT3 traffic can be a bit rough. It probably cost me P2 because I got blocked by one of them who eventually got P2, came out of the pits on cold tires. I got blocked, and the P2 got his tires warm before I could get back to him. I'm not sure I could have kept him by anyway. It's pretty fast, but still, it definitely didn't help. Definitely one of the better races here. I had a lot of fun. That was an intense race last night.
And then Mech, Road America 12 Hours, Brad, P19.
Yeah, Brad, do you want to go, or do you want me to?
You got it.
All right, so our podium at Watkins guaranteed we were top split. And just to be completely honest, we were probably a little bit out of our depth here. At different times during the race, just depending on who was in the car, the strength of field for the GT3 field ranged between 4 and 5K, with many 7 and 9K drivers in there. There was a lot of speed. I think we were only one of 3 or 4 Pro-Am cars in the whole split. Started out exciting. Turn 1 or lap 1, going down the straight to turn 5. Somebody just turned right into me. Semi-turned my car. Thankfully, I hit somebody and it kind of pointed me straight, and we only got about a minute and a half of damage. We protest the other team. They got a drive-through. But yeah, it started off interesting. Seems like there's been 1 or 2 teams in each of these mech races that have caused issues, both either with us or just the whole race. That car hit us another time in the race before they eventually retired it, and then another car, the 91, I think. It feels like he caused 80% of the safety cars before they finally retired their car as well. Brad and Will had fantastic stints in the rain. I thankfully didn't have to drive in the rain. Just how it worked out when we preset our stints. But they did fantastic jobs. So they had pace in the rain. They kept us in it. Really good job. One other small oopsie that cost us a little bit of time in the pits with some minimal damage. And then with about 2 hours left, Brad DC'd. We fell a lap down before it finally put the car back in the pits and let me get in the car. Felt like I had pace once I got in, but we just didn't get another safety car within the last 3 hours. So 19th was about as high as we could get back.
What, Brad's getting dial-up, or what happened here?
It just happens. It's just iRacing because his Discord was fine. He's still talking to us, and
Yeah.
it happens. I mean, it happened to me at Mosport. It happened to somebody else at Daytona. Our luck in this mech season, you wouldn't believe it.
If I mean, we've told you, but I still don't believe it. But
We were in
despite
Germany.
that, though, I had fun.
Yeah, we were in German servers as well, so everything was done on the
Yeah.
Germany server. So, yeah, rain was just not fun here. Just Road America's not fun in the rain. Not a very wet track. So, we were split one, split two. Apparently, was an absolute monsoon for hours. Um, so a lot of. I think they ended up red flagging it, believe it or not, and then actually restarting it. With like 5 hours to go or something. So that was somewhat of a mess. But yeah, I think we tied for fifth in points overall. That's where we ended up. So not bad there. But yeah, we had a really good time. We're not going to run. I don't think we're going to run the short season. That's going to be season 3 this fall. But we're definitely gonna run again next year once things get going. So it was fun with the wheels. So
Yep.
Look, does iRacing need to tweak the rain if
So they
it's
have
so
an
bad?
official. This is supposedly not possible in officials anymore, but I guess that doesn't extend to hosted. I actually just put a picture of the radar into the Discord if anybody wants to look at it. There's no way they could race in that. So you know that Mech has uh, actual real human driven pace cars. They sent the pace cars out in split 2 to see if they could drive it, and they're like, no, we can't do it. So they just eventually restarted the server because they're like, yeah, it's too bad.
Does iRacing just need to take it down a notch so that doesn't happen where you have to actually literally red flag a sim race?
Yeah, I don't know why it doesn't extend to hosted. They fixed it in officials. I've not seen anything like that Sebring one time or even the Daytona after that. But yeah, I don't know why they would allow something like this to happen in hosted.
All right, other racing I ran a Chris McGuire hosted 87s at Talladega, qualified 17th out of 39, got as high as P2 before getting wrecked out near the end. Then car of tomorrow, car at Talladega, qualified 23rd out of 41, was quickly wrecked out. All right, final thoughts, Greg Hectus. Find the time for yourself, Greg. Brad Wren, final thought.
yeah, so we're in the process of selling the house to relocate. So I'm gonna plan to run Indy tomorrow night and then Saturday start tearing the rig down. Um, After next week, I'll be in temporary housing starting August. So I won't be here during the week, and then the weekends are probably going to be the wife down to Charlotte while we try to find a house. So gonna go ahead and tackle that. My wife and my daughter always looked at me like I was crazy because I saved every single box that's stacked up in the garage. But there's a
You're so smart.
there's a method to the madness. So yeah, gonna go ahead and get this thing stripped down, get it as well set up to be transported as possible. If it gets damaged, I'll lose my mind. So yeah,
Take
that's what
the
I'll be
seat
doing.
off.
Yeah, that's what I'll be doing this weekend, barring any house showings. But yeah, a little sad. And I told my wife that I was going to be tearing it apart this weekend. She just kind of gave me the pouty face and apologized. But hey, that's life. But I will say I'm excited because it's gonna be the first time that I've taken everything off of it. So there's lots of little things that I've determined over the last year or so that I want to fix. So when I do put it back together, once we get in the new house, I already have plans to make adjustments and fix a bunch of stuff that's been wrong for a while. So I am looking forward to that. But yeah, so I'll be off the rig and off the service for probably, I'm guessing maybe a month or two. I don't know yet. It just depends, but still be on the show. Just won't be racing, but keeping up with everything else. So yeah, yeah, it's gonna be okay. Just gonna be this is the escape after work. So I won't have that escape for a little while. It's gonna be a lot of work here for the next couple months.
But how satisfying will it be once you're in your new place and you get it set up and you're back into it? And then the other question is, did you tell the realtor on the new house, hey, we got to have, X amount of bedrooms, but I need a room for my
Yes.
sim rig?
Yeah. So when we were talking to the realtor today, my wife's like, So we got to have this, and this because my husband's got to have his own room that we can, a loft won't work. He's got to be able to close the door for his sim rig. And she's like, oh, one of those.
Ah, okay. A man cave.
Yeah. So good times.
All right, David Hall, final thought.
So this just dawned on me when you were talking results. When it's 2092, are we still going to be calling it the car of tomorrow?
Names stick, you know.
We don't call it the car of tomorrow anymore.
Well, we do Gen 5. Yeah, sure we do.
Well, yeah, but you can't. Okay. Yeah, you're right.
So 30
I-
years from now, are you going to call Gen 7 next gen?
You probably shouldn't. It probably should just call it Gen 7.
Yeah, but the COT is the COT. I mean, that's what it was.
But now it's the car of yesterday.
Coy.
Race control. It's got to be moved to the top of the priority list. I don't know how many resources are being put into it, but it's got to be moved to the top of the priority list. It's all kinds of problems are all stemming from how broken and outdated the race control setup is.
Look, it's been broken, David, but I think the Coke race really put a point on it. Like it showed just how bad it is or how bad it can be.
There's problems that happen all the time. Or having to race back when the caution's out just to be able to get to pit, or not being able to pit because somebody else is broken and can't get back, and the system can't figure that out, or the fact that if somebody comes out of the pits when you're taking the wave by or anything that has you catching up to the field, it puts them in front of you even though you're going 80 miles an hour faster than them, and they waited till the last second to come out of the pit. So
Those
it's got to
things.
be fixed.
All right, William Westbrook, final thought.
Yeah, for other reasons, I'm looking forward to that getting fixed too. I mean, I've been running a bunch of leagues with safety cars and other things, right? And going back into an official where it's just a sprint for the whole time is kind of a little disappointing. I mean, you still get the prestige and it's still fun, but you still miss it. So, yeah, I'm hoping that they make that more of a priority. Hopefully, we get more on that sooner rather than later. And Brad, I think you should move to Anderson, South Carolina. That'll be a little bit of a drive to work, but it'll be much closer to me.
We're looking at South Carolina, but it's just inside the line.
Yeah.
My final thought, racing a little less than normal because I'm skipping some ringmeisters when I don't own the car and whatnot, but having fun just finding other stuff to do. And this week I found the F4 car again. Look, I remember like maybe a year and a half ago, I was running F4 all the time. And so it was kind of nice to fall back into that car. Look, only 2-3 races. I'm right back up to speed to where I was before. I had that same feel. Uh, Man, I love the open wheel cars. I just wish I could go up to the higher cars and perform as well, but I just can't seem to make that next step up. I jump
Practice,
into that next
practice,
one. Oh,
practice,
practice?
practice.
Yeah. Look, my practice is running races. Yeah, I just jump from one to the other, and with F4, you can switch between 4 or 5 tracks. They have all these different regional series, and so I had fun with it. So other than that, looking forward to the Sim Gaming Expo. I got delivery today of 250 4x6 photos that say iRacers Lounge, Sim Gaming Expo. They got a picture of my car on it, the QR code, all that stuff. It's a handout. Look, if you're going to show up at the same gaming expo and you come to our booth, I'm going to hand you a 4x6 photo, and so you'll have something to take away. So come get your free swag. And with that, we'll see you on the track later.